what he did was, and there was evidence that actually he'd been looking you up on the internet quite a lot, and he had looked at and copied tweets, 2 tweets particularly, and they were on the dashboard. So you had tweeted exactly what you're saying. Where was the day of rage after the terrorist attacks? All I saw was lighting candles.
Can I ask
and
you
the other
quickly,
one is anger. When a Muslim bombed our kids, we were told not to look back in anger. Yeah. What was the purpose of those tweets?
Can I ask you, you know the first message you just read, are you going to put a screenshot up of that on your screen? Because you've just completely took that out of context. What that was after Grenfell happened, far-left organisations had a day of rage planned. They had leaflets calling for a day of rage. You've got that leaflet because that was part of that tweet, but you've purposely left the leaflet out of it, and you're making it sound like I said, let's have a day of rage. What I was showing people was the hypocrisy in our country, that when our children are blown to pieces...
in this trial...
What you've actually just done is misrepresented the truth of a tweet. That's what you've done on this show on purpose.
Anger. When a Muslim bombed our kids, we were told not to look back in anger. What was the purpose of that tweet? Because that tweet was on the dashboard of Darren Osborne's van when he attacked.
Why are you not sitting here reading? Darren Osborne wrote the reasons why he done this attack. Why are we not talking about the reasons why he done this attack? Shall I tell you one of the reasons why he done the attack? What he wrote? No,
he obsessively looked you up online. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, all I'm saying is he wrote, terrorists march through our country today. There was an Al-Quds march. Now, the problem I have is that you're the BBC News and you did not report on that.
All I'm saying is, do you accept that there is a lot of hate speech about, and you've condemned that from other people, for example, Anjem Choudary, who's now in jail. Do you take any responsibility for that being hate speech?
You think that's hate speech?
I'm asking.
No, do you think that's hate speech?
I'm asking you if it's hate speech.
No, it's categorically not. It's impossible. You have Muslims in this country, in mosques across this country, calling for the death of homosexuals, calling for the takeover of our country. That's real hate speech. Me saying don't look back in anger, me putting these tweets, is not hate speech in any way.
Why do you think that he obsessively looked for you online? Because actually it's the case that you were presenting in a way that encouraged him to take action against people.
Absolutely unbelievable that you're saying that. 49 million people watched my videos in that 4-week period. No, excuse me, and 193 million people read my tweets. Yeah. The reason why people were searching for me is because I give them the truth, unlike you. You're not giving them the truth.
Can I just say, Tommy Robinson, the fact is, after he attacked outside Finsbury Mosque,
which he gave you a reason why,
he wrote a letter, and in that letter he quoted your tweet. All I'm asking you is, do you have any feeling he did?
Please, for your viewers...
It was heard in court.
For your viewers...
It was heard in court.
For your viewers, read what he said. I'll tell you what he said. He quoted Sadiq Khan. He said, just part and parcel of living in a big city. He quoted Jeremy Corbyn.
He quoted you.
No, he didn't quote me.
He did. He quoted you in the tweet. He quoted you in his letter. He quoted that tweet.
Please tell me what
he quoted that.
No, he didn't.
Anger when a Muslim bombed our kids, we were told not to look back in anger.
Do you know what that was? No, he said don't look back in anger. He didn't say that exact words. He said don't look back in anger. The front page of the Sun newspaper after the Manchester attack was don't look back in anger. He didn't quote me, he quoted the national newspaper.
Do you deny that he quoted you in any way?
Yes, no, he gave reasons why he done this.
So he did quote you?
No, he didn't quote me. I can't believe why you're not even looking at the reasons. I can't believe you're not looking at the fact we had 3 massive terrorist attacks. We have 22,000...
This is not what this is about.
No, this is the reason why he done it.
This is about the rise of right-wing extremism and people being radicalised very quickly online, in court. And indeed, the commander of anti-terrorism at the Met said that people are radicalised within 4 weeks.
I'm embarrassed for the BBC. We had 3 terrorist attacks in quick succession, and rather than talk about them as a radicalising factor for why this man reacted, he told you why he reacted. You want to put it on the fact. You want to put it on the fact that I report the truth.
Excuse me, can I just say, terrorist attacks are appalling. Nobody is doubting that. All I'm saying is...
So you don't think the terrorist attacks had anything to do with the reason why he done this? You think it was because you think it was because I said don't look back in anger?
I'm asking that there are contributory factors, and he was radicalised online, and the prosecution and the courts and the police said that he obsessively looked at your looked for you online and quoted your tweets. That's a fact.
No, the fact is, his wife said he was radicalised after your BBC documentary.
Do you think what's the difference between the hate speech that you produced and the hate speech that Anjem Choudary produced?
Why don't you sit the producer of that documentary down here and ask him if he feels responsible?